George, we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. Is there anything that you've always wanted to ask me? Because, George, I will.
Yes, there is something I want to ask you.
All right.
How do you write so many books so fast?
I neither want to condemn nor condone those that use mind-altering substances, whatever their motive may be. My goal is not to pass judgment, but to investigate the relationship between drugs and creative endeavours. And so, that will be the focus of this video. Many writers drink coffee. Some, such as myself, drink numerous cups a day in an effort to quell mental and physical fatigue, as well as fuel a creative drive. But for a lot of writers, caffeine just doesn't cut it, and they instead resort to something with a little more kick. Take Paul Erdős, a Hungarian mathematician who was one of the most prolific essay writers of the 20th century.
And the first LD means living dead. You get that title when you are 60.
During the course of his career, he managed to write over 1,500 essays and collaborated on a further 509. Caffeine wasn't the only tool in Erdős's toolbox. His drug of choice was amphetamine, a potent psychostimulant often sold under the brand name Adderall and Ritalin. He used amphetamines throughout his career while working on many of his essays. Some of his colleagues grew concerned about his reliance on the substance. One such colleague and friend, Ron Graham, bet Erdős he couldn't go a month without taking the drug. To Graham's surprise, Erdős won the bet. However, Erdős would later lament that mathematics had been set back a month because he couldn't get any work done during his abstinence. He is accredited to have said, "Before the bet, when I looked at a piece of blank paper, my mind was filled with ideas. Now all I see is a blank piece of paper." Today, cognitive enhancers are a big business. Often referred to as nootropics or smart drugs, they are especially popular amongst university students and academics due to their positive impact on work ethic, especially in regards to writing. Entire communities have emerged where users discuss their personal experiences with a variety of nootropics, including ways to reduce damaging side effects and potentiate the positive effects. Online pharmacies, a legal grey area, flourish by selling to this market. There are now hundreds of different nootropics circulating the market, varying in safety and effectiveness. One famous nootropic is called Modafinil. First approved to treat narcolepsy, a sleep disorder, Modafinil has also been prescribed to treat a wide variety of neurological problems, such as ADHD. Studies show that Modafinil increases a person's cognition, making them feel more attentive and energetic. A trial from 2003 suggests Modafinil improves the brain's memory processes, including digit span and visual recognition. Modafinil is said to have been the inspiration for NZT48, the fictional superdrug and plot catalyst for the film Limitless. In the film, a penniless loser unlocks the full potential of his brain, managing, among other things, to write an entire novel in a single night. But safety and legality aside, is it ethical? We are faced with a unique and interesting conundrum when it comes to drug use for creative purposes. Some may argue that due to the brain-altering effects of certain substances, the individual ceases to be responsible for the product that is created. Thus, the credit goes to the drug, and not the user. Personally, I disagree with this idea. Drugs such as the stimulants Paul Erdős used do not have the ability to produce work alone. They are just chemicals. The person must still have the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities beforehand. The creator remains a creator, drug or no drug. Ernest Hemingway believed that certain substances excelled a flawed but otherwise bright mind. The drug doesn't alter the writer's ability beyond what they are actually capable of, it instead puts them in a state so that the best version of themselves can flourish as a result. In a tragic, romantic sense, drugs can also numb the melancholy that creative people are stereotypically prone to. Take one of the most influential modern authors, Stephen King.
I was warped as a child. So a lot of horror comics in my past, and a lot of horror movies and that sort of thing, and it warped me as a kid. And
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
He wrote the majority of his early novels, such as Cujo and The Shining, while binging on cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs. Anything that helped him escape into the page and drive his writing obsession was game. For Stephen King, his drug habits almost cost him his family and his life. A few years ago, he explained in an interview that during the height of his addiction, he had to block his nostrils with cotton wool to stop the blood dripping on his typewriter while writing. His wife would often find him passed out in a pool of his own vomit, the pages of his manuscript scattered about him. Drugs fueled his creative drive, but unfortunately came at a high price. Although many nootropics are relatively harmless, some people, such as the aforementioned Stephen King, are driven to use very powerful mind-altering substances. In Uber Coca, Sigmund Freud concluded that cocaine, then a new drug with little research, was not detrimental to the body, and repeated doses of coca produced no compulsive desire to use the stimulant further. He also declared cocaine as less harmful than alcohol, and recommended its use to treat alcohol and morphine addiction, dismissing the possibility of becoming an addict. In retrospect, it seems insane to think of cocaine as a safe and non-addictive medication, but at the time Uber Coca was published, hundreds of medical products littered the market touting cocaine as a prime, cure-all ingredient, from rheumatism to impotency. It's interesting to note that the final line of the essay refers to a writer. A young writer who was enabled by treatment with coca to resume his work after a longish illness, gave up using the drug because of the undesirable secondary effects which it had on him. In conclusion, I believe one should exercise caution when considering to take a substance, whatever that substance may be and for whatever reason you may be taking it. In regards to writers and other creatives, I am open-minded. Not everyone's physiology is the same. Certain chemicals may be useful and have a beneficial impact on an individual's life. Thorough research must be done into such things as smart drugs, and risk reduction practices should be employed. But I do genuinely believe that they can help people. There is a massive difference between taking coffee, taking nootropics, and taking hard drugs such as cocaine. We now know the risks and benefits of these substances, as well as the law, so it is up to you to decide where you draw the line.
And I put that in a book, and I think one of the things that you do after a while is you begin to search out the things that scared you the most and try to get rid of them, you know.